Hello diecast fans, what we have here is a 1:18 scale Nissan Sylphy made by Paudi Diecast. I think it's a diecast manufacturer based on China. Anyway, about this car, this is also what they called the Nissan Sentra, the Nissan Sunny, and the Nissan Pulsar, to name a few. Now, reviewing upon the models of the Nissan Sylphy, this is the third generation, which this diecast was based into. It's a 2012 or 2012 model. Now, about the diecast itself, let's take a closer look on the features of this diecast model. So, as expected, it's going to have an opening engine bay. So, you need one of these pointy prying tool. Don't worry, it's really safe when you try to pry open on those panel gaps right there. It's quite really tight and close to each other, so you need one of these poking tools right here. But I don't personally recommend any needles or blades or knives. That's really going to scrape off the paint onto the edges and ruin the diecast itself. So let's take a look on the engine bay. So we lift it up with the finger, and there you go. Now it's quite dark in there, but I'm gonna have a closer look on the camera. Now that's the engine bay. That's the 4-cylinder engine, as you can see there. There's the battery and some other features of this engine. Now, of course, this is not a sports car with a beautiful engine bay, since this is based on a compact family sedan. Now let's take a look on the rear part of this car, the trunk. Now, how do we open an ordinary sedan's trunk? Of course, the old-fashioned way. We lift it up to the chrome garnish right there, and as you can see, there's really not much inside there. It's just a big plastic slabs right there. So yeah, there's really nothing. Let's take a look on the inside of the car. So you need one of these handy dandy prying tool right here to open the door through the door handles right there, and you pull it slowly. It will snap if you pull them abruptly. There we go. You need the 2-finger assistance right there. So let's take a look on the inside of the dashboard. So as you can see right there, there is the, it's hard to focus, there you go, the door sidings had the wood trim right there, as you can see on the door opener right there, and of course the two-tone dashboard color right there, the steering wheel, the pinnacle, the gauges, the tachometer, the speedometer, and the CVT shift knob right there, the gear selector, and 2 pedals, since this is a CVT vehicle. Now, as you take a closer look on the floor mats, there's no floor mats, but what really is interesting is they put a fabric on the footwell. So that's not made out of plastic, that's a separate material right there. That's actually, it feels like suede at some point, but it imitates really what the carpet is going to be. And let me just show you this feature of this diecast. So you can move the seats forwards and backwards. How about that? Now going to the rear passenger seat right here. So we open again with this prying tool right here. Open it slowly and gently, and of course it also has a plastic clear window on it. So there's also carpeting on there, and as standard, there's also a wood trim on the door sidings right there. This is quite a very good material that they chosen for the door sidings right there. It's not too shiny, it's not too plastic, not too glossy, and it imitates really what the interior is going to look like. Now, as you can see, right there. As you can see, the seatbelt buckle is also on a separate piece with a separate material right there. It's actually made out of a piece of cloth or something. So it's really quite a nice touch for this diecast. Now, moving on to the right passenger seat of this diecast. So again, the prying tool, and let's try to open it on the door handle gently. As expected, it's going to have also carpets on the footwell, the seats. Of course, the seats also moves if you wanted to. And the door sidings right there, another touch of the wood trim. And let's go to the rear passenger side of the diecast and see what's inside. Of course, what you expect is going to be the same as the left side right there. And of course, as you can see, there's a sunroof on it. And what's really clever is you can actually slide open the cover and see the interior from the rooftop right there. So another fantastic feature of this diecast. Now let's take a closer look at the exterior of the car, the quality, how it was built. So like I mentioned before, you need one of these tools. Now you need one of these tools because the gaps that they had onto this diecast, it's really tight. So you could see, yes, it's closer to a realistic one. So it's a step closer to a realism. And of course the headlights really looks good. I think this had a H4 headlamps on it. There's no DRL or daytime running lights, LED like that. And of course there you go, the fog lamps right there. Of course this car was actually based on a Chinese mainland China model, so as you can see there. And of course the Nissan logo right there. And moving on, the wheels right there. These brakes, yes, the alloy finish of this car is really impressive. The tires is quite nice. As you can see, there's also threaded on it. You can steer it, of course, with the moving of the steering wheel, as you can see. And going to the rear side right there, so another fantastic alloy finish there. Disc brakes also. And moving on the rear, this is one of the best looking tail lamps I've ever had for a diecast collection. So you could see the amber on it, the rear transparent lights there, and the entire brake lights. So they also included some radar sensors like that for when you're trying to reverse the car. Right there. And as you can see also, good thing that they made this handle strong enough to lift the doors, because sometimes it's going to snap out if you try to open or pry them, if you try to open them with this kind of method. But then again, thankfully they made those handles quite sturdy. And of course, chrome trim on the right there on the doors itself, right there. And let me just show you this. Side mirrors. They do fold. Both sides right there. You can see. Right there. It's quite very nice. So as I am trying to hold this diecast model, I just observed that this particular diecast model is quite heavy. Now, upon observing the materials that they use, and it's quite unusual that they use this kind of approach when building this diecast model. As you can see, of course, it's diecast. The shell is made out of diecast metal. The bumper, I think, is made out of plastic, but I might be wrong. There's an indication that it's also made out of metal right there. Correct me if I'm wrong, since I haven't used any magnets just to prove that it's made out of metal. But what's really interesting is, if you turn it upside down, so you can see the exhaust right there, and the engine, and the transaxle right there. And of course the spare tire where it's located on the floor pan. And as you can see, the tailpipe right there. Now, as I try to tap this floor pan, it's made out of metal. So that's why this diecast is unusually heavy. So most of the diecast, even the high ends, uses plastic. Now that's kind of reasonable to cut cost. But somehow, Paudi just put a metal chassis or floor pans on it. So it's quite interesting and unusual at the same time. My verdict for this diecast model. For me, I ask myself, what on earth did I think of to own this kind of diecast model? A Nissan Sylphy or Sentra. Sometimes, if you want a diecast model, you're going to have the rarest, the best looking on your display cabinet, but not much as a sedan, what you typically see on the streets. But then again, of course, there's going to be a reason why you bought one. For number one, for me, because I only bought this diecast for around $25 US, and for all the features that it has, it's very cheap. And that's a bargain if you ask me. So as you can see there, even the finish of the paint is quite gorgeous. It's a combination of metallic material, and the paint is flawless, as I observed. Second reason, you wanted a diecast with so much feature on it, as I already shown you before. Opening doors, even the sunroof can be open, even the seats can be moved forwards and backwards, which is very interesting and nice to have on a 1:18 diecast. And not all of the diecast manufacturers produce a Nissan Sylphy or Nissan Sentra. Now I think this model was produced for promotional purposes of the model of the car itself, for Nissan. Now for some reason also, you can buy this diecast on a local hobby store. I only bought this for an individual seller online. So if you try to search it on eBay, I think, online stores, you might spot one of these 1:18 Nissan Sylphys. So for Nissan collectors right there, collectors of unusual sedans right here, so this is one of the best nominees of diecast models that you can ever own. There's lots and lots of sedans produced by Paudi, so just try to search to their websites. I think you can find more. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching again, and for all of you, have a nice day.